Hey guys, thank you for tuning in again today. It is the same day as the end of the last video, but for you it's another video. For me it's just 2 minutes after the last part.
In Kenny's clacky garage, we're making it right.
So we need to change the front axle, and I think there's not much more to it than to do it. So I messed up a little bit. Not really. I just wasted some time because I started taking the front wheel assembly off, and I really didn't need to, because I only needed to punch out those 2 pins and then I could take out the axle from the machine. So here we have the old axle. It functions. It turns the axle if it gets an input, but we're missing that big chunk. So now I'm just gonna go outside and do the same with on the donor machine, and then yeah, we will be putting in another axle. So I got my new axle here clamped in the vise because I just wanted to clean it up a little bit, because it's looking so clean here. So I want to knock off that rust real quick. I'm not going to go totally crazy because it's not new. It's actually, the donor machine is 2 years older than the new machine. So it's a bit surprising that it looks so good. So, good enough. Now, to get the new axle in and also to remove it from the old machine, I found that it was making life a bit easier if I loosened one of the wheel assemblies, because then I can get a better angle at both the axle and at the axle, basically. So I'm gonna have to work on not standing in your way, because there's not a lot of point in filming a lot if you're not able to see. Maybe I should just take it completely off. Yeah. Is that what I did yesterday in the dark outside? It might have been. Drop that and never find it again. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Like Mark Knopfler said. There, easy, right? If you only know how. There. Now I just need to put the sprockets back on. Put that pin in there and on the other side, and then the axle should be locked in place, sort of, kind of. The clips on? No, not yet. Because I need my cover here first. Now, sprocket. Nice sound. And the same on the other side. I don't know if I really showed you in the first video what the really big issue with this machine were. Yeah, the shield is gone. It was completely rotted out all the way around, and it made a complete mess. Just picking away at the parts that I need, it just leaves a big pile of rust everywhere. Including in here, I pretty much just lifted the engine up with that piece of shield attached to the bottom. Yeah, the piece that is missing there. And then I rubbed off some parts, including the belt, and I had to take a bunch of stuff apart underneath, and that just made this mess. So that thing is long gone. It's turning into more and more pieces and getting closer and closer to just entering back down into the ground. So in the process of getting ready to put on the belt from the other machine, I was down here taking a look, and the machine vibrates a lot, and I think I mentioned that I hope it's not the crank. That bolt, that's the center of the crank. I don't know how well I can show you. Without my hands getting in the way. And the spark plug is out, by the way. Either is the knife holder that's bent, or it's the crank. And that would be really, really, really sad. So I'm gonna take off the holder for the knife, because I think I have to anyways, to put on the belt, and see if I'm lucky that it's just the knife holder. Well, with my luck, it's got a bent crank. Okay, I'm convinced we've got a bent crank. I cannot get that holder off, but thinking about it, that bolt goes right up in the crank. It screws directly into the end of the crank. So if that is moving like this, of course it is. If this is moving in an odd pattern, I'm gonna bet that the crank is bent. So that's actually really bad news, because the engine is running so well. But we can change the crank, right? But not in this video, I think, because this is the junk engine. Or not the engine, but not the engine that's junk. It's is the shield. That's junk, where this engine was mounted. And I don't know if I can show you, but spark plug is out. I think that rocking motion is partly me. I have taken quite a few hits on this bolt, so that might be out of alignment. And also the piston is moving up and down, creating motion. So I think we're better off with this engine. So I thought I was on the home stretch. I thought I just needed to put on the belt and that cover underneath, sharpen the blade, and then we were off to the races. But no! Of course, we need to swap the engine. Oh well, nothing to it but to do it. Stop crying, no one cares. Oh. Now that I'm here, nasty. Let me just clean this mess up. That's better. Not perfect, but that's not what it's about. I can't believe how clean and nice this machine actually looks. Oh well. Let's put a different power plant on. Can I reach underneath and get a bolt started? Yes! So now I hope the engine won't fall off when I tip it back again to get access from underneath again. So now I have to go through the process again of seeing if the engine even runs. Oh well. That is looking a hell of a lot better. So if only the engine runs, which of course it does, it's a bricks. So we are back where we started. We got an engine mounted, and no, not completely where we started, because I'm not sure if we got a running engine, but I'm gonna be a I'm gonna put all my money on black and just believe that of course the engine will run. So since this is the engine, I took all the parts off of, and also the front axle. Then I might as well put it back together the way I took it apart. So got a bit of in play, but I guess it's okay as long as it's not leaking. I'm not sure if. So this is the belt that came from the junk machine. It's not new, but it's looking like it's okay. It goes through here, and now the fun begins, because how was it? I'm gonna have to put this I need the belt through here. Was it like this? And the pulley, and then the pulley up in this plastic thingamajig, and then find the spot where the there, and then just for shits and giggles putting that back on. Should I put a knife, a blade on, so that is done and I can test it? Which one looks better than the other? This is the one from this machine, not that engine, but I'm just gonna slap this on. Cool. The spark plug is out, by the way. There. And then I can put these screws in for the plastic cover. Did I clean them? Yeah, one of them. This isn't the same. Because I'm missing a hole where but also this machine had this thing covering the pulley. So did it not have anything? Did it not have a plastic cover before? But it's got a screw hole. And there's another screw hole there. Now this machine had this contraption bolted. I think it was it here? Like that. Nicely covering the drain for the engine oil, but we can take it off afterwards. So what's it? So is it supposed to go like this? No, the belt is on. Blade. Like that. And then I tightened this too early. Who would have thought? There. Like that? I don't know. Because that machine was taken apart. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Huh. Yeah. It's going to be like that. Yeah, it has to be, because that fork thing is taking up the space that this cover should cover. So I guess that's MIA. So cool. Do we have a running engine now? No, not yet. Yes, I'm taking it apart again, because I missed a very important detail before. You are standing almost on a bolt and a bracket, and I do believe that that bracket is the hole that I'm missing for that plastic cover, and I would rather go with the plastic cover so that the belt is covered. So I'm just taking it apart one more time. I'm actually getting good at it. Really good. No. So one more time. It might have been a good idea to put it on first, right? This bracket it is. Now what? Ah, come on. There. And would you look at that? Now it makes sense. Perfect. There. Perfect. Almost. Let me just tighten that engine bolt again. It is tight. Put the blade on one more time. Now, let's put it down and see if we have a running engine. So before I start messing with the engine, I'm gonna finish this first. So we have some tension on the belts. So that is done there. Nice. So now for this to work, I just need the cable, and I'm gonna rub that off the junk machine outside, and I'm gonna have to redo my cable for the Deadman because I had to cut it up to free it from the other engine, so now I'm stuck with these two pieces here left on the cable. And actually we could make it run because I've fixed the Deadman on the engine with a zip tie. So actually, first, should we do a compression test and see if it's any better than the other engine? Can you see? Yeah, you have a better view than I. Oh no, it's terrible. But it could be that I'm not getting enough swing on the pull start because it's way up in the air and a really long string. One more time. Better? No, the same. What's that? 65? That's horrible. Oh well, the other one had, what, 50? And seemed to be running decent. I just don't get it because that machine right there is having a 135 psi of compression. Also runs fine. Oh well. Let me take this apart again and try some gasoline. So I've dumped in some gasoline. We know from Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because I checked this engine like I would normally, not knowing that I actually would end up using this engine. So we know it got oil, and the primer seemed strong, but it didn't have gasoline. Now it does. It actually doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Oh well, let's just try it anyways. I'm gonna have my shut off ready here. And I think I'm gonna lower the table because the string is so freaking long. So, I've tried priming it. Now let's see if she will fire up. Yeah, come on, come on! Yes! It runs perfect. Smokes a lot, but I have also had it upside down. Again, I did not know that I would need this engine to be running. And shuts off again. Perfect. Now we just got smoke coming from every possible opening off the top of the engine. Oh, there you are. Nice. Ha! I don't care what you say, you cannot beat a Briggs & Stratton. You really cannot. Oh well, this will have to do for now, because I need to go and pick up my kids, so I will pick up in the evening, so until then, stay safe. So we got the engine running, and it seems to be running just fine, and we want to keep it like that. So I'm gonna start with changing the pull start, because that looks not really that hot, and the oil, I want to run the engine, warm it up, and change the oil. And also I want to have a look underneath the covers here, and what better time to do it than while you change the pull start anyways. So, and off camera I just fixed a couple of loose ends. I stole the cable from the junk machine and put that on, and to begin with I had this spring upside down, so that was just perfect. I was about to break that arm, so maybe that's how they break. It's like the cable is a bit too tight, so this flexes when you want to use the propulsion. I also put the cable for the shut off back on and cut off the excess up here, so that's just perfect. I'm pretty much done up here, I hope. Only thing is that I want to put the pull start up in the loop there. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it apart, look what we got underneath here. So I'm looking at it after I got the head off, and actually it doesn't look too bad. A few leaves and spider webs, but nothing, not too bad. I'm just gonna hit that with compressed air and then put it back together again once I have changed the pull start cord. In here, apart from the rust, which they all get, this looks brand spanking new. So I'm just gonna change the string and put it back together again. So we are out of air. That must mean that it is good enough. Wanna see? Yeah, it's fine now. And oops, I forgot to turn off the radio. Sorry. And we've got a new string on the pull start here, so we can slap that back on, and then we can start the engine, warm it up, get it back, and change the oil. I got it back together again, and I also put on the cover for the drive. It is quite a nice looking machine, again for my standard. But it really did a trick on me with the engine and the bent crankshaft, but luckily that engine seems to be performing. For as long as I have had it running, it sounds like it performs just fine. Now, the last thing I think I want to do to this machine before it's ready to get kicked down the road is actually to warm it up so the engine and the oil gets warm, and then I'm going to drain the oil and sharpen the blade, and I also want to treat the underside with some hammer paint. It's looking all right for its age and all that, but I want to keep that rust at bay if I'm able to. So I'm gonna hit it with a wire wheel once the blade is off, and treat it with some hammer paint. I also did it on that machine because that's also quite nice looking, and I wanna make it as good as possible for the next owner. So therefore I've chosen to paint that machine underneath as well, like I will with this. So yeah, I'm gonna take it outside, let it run, get warm, and then drain the oil. Uh-oh. Oh well. It's probably mostly water. I just thought I saw a lot of shiny stuff. So I hope we can all be here when I tip down the machine. Yeah, it'll be fine. There. Now let that drain, and then I will see you in a minute. It's a few hours later and we are done draining the oil. So let's see what treasures is in the pan there. We got some this this actually feels really thick. Poking with the dipstick here. Ignore I said that. Well, we got some streaks and stripes going on. This oil just feels really, really thick. It is cold out. I haven't had the heat on for the couple of hours I've been gone, so maybe the oil is stiff. Also, well, I guess I've seen worse, but I have definitely also seen better. But again, here in my country, I don't think that private homeowners change their oil on their lawnmower. I really don't. So this engine is from 2008, and let's just be generous and say that it has had the oil changed when it was 1 year old. It's still really, really old oil. So, but it's really, really thick. Oh well, we're gonna treat it with some new stuff. But first, I'm gonna clean the underside here and smear some of that hammer paint on it.
With a wrench in hand, he shines and he repairs, turning rust to gold, showing how much he cares. At Clacky's Garage, nothing's ever too tough. At Clacky's Garage, we rise from the fall. Kenny lifts us up, inspiring us all. Through the trials we face, we'll find a new way. With the wheels turning round, we'll seize the day. Revving up the dreams, making engines roar. With every little fix, he opens up the door to a brighter day, with no shadow in sight. Kenny knows the way to bring back the light. With passion and pride, he fuels our drive. At Clacky's Garage, we rise from the fall. Kenny lifts us up, inspiring us all. Through the trials we face, we'll find a new way. With the wheels turning round, we'll seize the day. With passion and pride, he fuels our drive. At Clacky's Garage, we rise from the fall.
Now that made quite the difference, and I hope a future customer will notice. Wow, I really like this stuff. It is from my local hardware store. It's called Hammer Paint. Durability up to 8 years. Outdoors. Yeah, it meets all the criteria I think it needs to meet. And now this type of paint, I think it does leave quite of an uneven surface, but the underside was already uneven just from rust buildup. So I would much rather treat it with some fresh, durable paint to preserve the underside for up to 8 years, I hope. I've done it on my garden tractor also. I treated it 2 layers and I have 0 complaints. So now before I can do more work on the underside, it needs to dry. But there's all stuff we can do, because we need to put the knife on and the belt and the cover and all that stuff, but that will be when it's dry, because I don't want to get it all over my hands more than I already got it from the previous machine. So let's just put it down and do something else. Or do you want to watch the paint dry? This side flap here, it doesn't have a spring that holds it shut, because that stuff has rattled apart at some point, I guess. So it has gotten some new hardware at some point, but I got a not a new spring. It's from the junk machine and the pin. So I'm gonna see if I can change that, since I have forgotten how the spring was mounted. So that's just perfect. Woo! Was that a struggle? Oh my lord. Oh well, it's done now. I forgot to press record, and you only really missed a really poor performance of me trying to get that spring in place. I had to go back and watch the video where I really briefly just show that there's a spring on the junk machine, and oh well, it's on now. So what else can I do tonight? I'm gonna fill the oil, and I'm also gonna sharpen the blade and balance it, because now I also bought a balancer. You can also just use a nail, but I think this small Christmas tree is funny. It's more fun. Now I expect this to just jump right to the one of the sides. No? Okay, that's a surprise. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So now I just need to sharpen it, because that's not so good. But again, I have seen worse. It really just needs all those burrs taken off and just be sharp again. But I don't think I'm gonna do that tonight, because that makes a hell of a noise. So I just think I'm gonna, yeah, you've seen me pouring oil, and you've seen everything before. So I'm just gonna finish the machine off camera, and then bring you back once we just quickly dry it off with the cloth, and then it's ready for sale, I hope. We've got some nice shiny metal showing here. I know it doesn't look great, but still got a bit of a gouge there, but bottom line, it's actually only the tip that matters. Joke there. And the balance, I am willing to accept that. Yeah. So now the knife is ready. Let's have a look underneath the machine now that it has had almost 24 hours to dry. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. It is actually still a bit tacky. Is it supposed to be like that? Well, it is also really cold in here. I don't know if you can see my breath, and I have had my Chinese diesel heater running for a couple of hours. But as I said in previous videos, it stands no chance in this hellhole of a leaking garage. So I guess a bit tackiness is okay. It's almost too much. Maybe should I hit it with a heat gun? Will that make a difference? I don't know. I just tried really quick with a heat gun, and it did nothing. If anything, it made it worse. So I'm just gonna let it be, like the Beatles said. So I don't know how long it needs to cure before it's dry. But oh well. I won't imagine that the machine will sell tomorrow if I put it up for sale tonight, so I guess it will have time to dry. So we got our knife here and our knife bolt. Sorry for the running nose. I can't help it. My nose just runs when it's cold. So we got this already assembled. So now I just need to put on the knife again and wash it, make it look a bit prettier. There's some oil running from places and stuff. And one last thing, I haven't had it running for too long, but I wanna make a new compression test to see if it did anything. That it has been running for, I don't know, how long it's been running, 10 or 15 minutes tops in total since I got it running. Anywho's, well, that wasn't the hole. Then it must be that one. How does that line up? Yeah, that's better. Perfect. Ah, come on. This bolt is a bit tired. And not really the size that it was once. There. And now the knife. Yes, the spark plug is out. So there, we're done underneath. Now let's get it down on its four paws again. And now the belt can go back on again. I want to. I'm just turning the knife underneath so it's not get cut. Come on, you. There. We got clearance for the spring. Now we can put the cover back on. No, let's wait with the cover. Because we want to make it look a bit prettier. I'm just gonna spray it with some water and dish soap. Nothing fancy, just water and soap. That's something. Where's the one? This is mine. there. So, last thing, and that is purely for my own curiosity. I want to do a second compression test. Hang on. So, I got the compression tester set up there, so let's give it 3 good strong pulls, or as strong as I can. Getting old, you know. Also a good test to see if my new string is holding up. What was it before? It's exactly the same, I think. Around 65 or something. Last time. It's the same. So, but I know it runs, and runs well. It is a bit smoky when it runs, but I think that it is simply just oil in the exhaust or somewhere else, because I have had the engine upside down because I didn't know that I would need it. So there might be oil in some places where there shouldn't be, and that of course needs to get burned off. Now we are done. I know I didn't show you a test run, and I really haven't cut grass with it because I didn't really want it to bother the cleanup, and there is actually not a lot of grass to cut, but the propulsion works, and the knife is spinning around. Of course, it turned out to be quite a bit bigger of a project than I expected, because all of a sudden I was swapping an engine and an axle, and yeah, I chose to coat the underside with hammer paint, and I was making new cables more than once, shut off cable, but overall I think the machine turned out pretty damn nice. For my standard, this is a really nice looking machine. It's 15 years old, was it? And the engine is 17. But for the age and my area, a really clean looking used lawnmower. Everything is there, everything works. It's got a new string for the pull start, fresh oil, freshly sharpened blade, undercoated, new axle, used axle. It's all there. It works. So now it's just a question if anyone wants to buy it. Well, I'm gonna let it cure for a couple of days and check on that hammer paint again, and the same for that machine, because that was painted underneath earlier at the same day as this one got its undercoating, and that one is still tacky, so I imagine that one is also. So if you have been watching this little project, I'm very grateful. Please continue, watch my videos, and subscribe if you haven't. It doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time. And also support your small YouTube channel. If you're watching my video, you might as well go and watch Marv's Fix-It Shop. I'll leave a link downstairs. Yeah, support your small YouTube channel so everyone can get a chance at succeeding at this YouTube thing. Well, thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one. The last thing, I promise. I have had these stickers made because I would like some more traffic on my channel, but also After I bought another lawnmower at the flea market, I got the suspicion that that was a lawnmower that I have already sold once. So I have had these stickers made so I can recognize my own projects and also maybe get some watch time. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.